welcome to Module 1. In this module, you will learn how to differentiate yourself from the thousands of people on LinkedIn who offer the same products and services as you and be seen as the only and logical choice to do business with due to how authoritative and expert you will appear after you implement these lessons. You will learn effective profile copywriting strategies that will transform your current profile from a boring resume into a sales conversion tool that you can use to attract prospects and even convert prospects that you're working with right now. This is the foundation for your LinkedIn marketing and a very important module for you to pay close attention to because the strategies that we'll cover in subsequent modules will not be as effective if you don't implement this module. The lessons in this course really build on each other, so it's important to go through everything in the order in which it is presented. The first thing people will do when they see you networking in groups or reaching out to connect is read your profile to see who you are and if you seem like someone they want to connect to. Now, this is why you need to put your best foot forward to impress these contacts and have them want to learn more about your business and how they can work with you. So pay close attention and earn your badges after each lesson so that once you begin your networking strategies, you will have a much higher rate of success. Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson, an introduction to the LinkedIn dashboard. Now today we're going to talk about the right settings that you need to have in your LinkedIn account in order to be set up the right way for the subsequent lessons that you're going to learn and all the networking activity that you're going to be doing. So I'm not really going to cover these first areas here because we are going to cover them in more detail later. So today we're really going to focus on the settings that we have over here and right there. So I'm just going to go over this really briefly. Obviously, that right here is where you sign out. If you have a business premium account, this is where you go and manage which type of account that you have. And if you want to upgrade or downgrade your account, this is where you would go and do that. If you're ever going to post a job, you would go here. If you're going to do the pay-per-click advertising, you would go here and set up your campaigns. But for the purpose of this lesson, we're not going to go into that in detail because we do cover that a little bit more later down the line when we talk about sponsored posts and company pages. Here's where you would manage any company pages that you have, your language settings, and your privacy and settings here. This is what we're going to spend the most of our time. If you ever need to contact LinkedIn, you would do that here. And they actually are very good at responding within a timely manner. I actually had to contact them over an issue I had with a company page that I manage, and they got back to me within 24 hours, and that was over a weekend. So if you ever do need help, they are rather responsive and they will get to you. So let's go here and just get you set up for success so you can begin your networking campaigns on the right foot. Okay, now this area here, turn on and off your news mention broadcast. That just basically means if you're ever mentioned in the news that your connections are going to be automatically notified of this mention. So that's actually really good, helps you stay top of mind, and we'll talk more about top of mind campaigns a little bit later on. The automatic setting is for this to be on yes, let them know, and that's exactly where we want them. Now, the next area, turn on and off your activity broadcast. Now, typically, LinkedIn's going to have this marked off on its own, and you want to actually uncheck it like I have mine because as we start doing a lot of changes, especially this week, as you're updating your profile and you start to, follow companies or you make recommendations or people start giving you recommendations, you're going to have a lot of activity popping up in other people's newsfeed that might actually kind of annoy them. So we just want to go ahead and uncheck this. Later on, we'll talk about what activity we do want people to be seeing from you, but all these notifications might be overkill. Also, select who can see your activity feed. Now, this is all the different actions that you do on LinkedIn. For example, whenever you join a group or whenever you post something in the group, those kinds of activities, can also get kind of annoying for people as well. So I have mine set on only you. Typically, LinkedIn will have this set to your connections. Quick story about this, I actually did not know that the setting existed, and back when I first started using LinkedIn to generate leads, and I was very active inside of the groups that I was in. I would take a blog post and I would, post it in all the groups that I was in. I didn't realize that my connections were seeing these every single different group post as activity on their feed of what I was doing. And I had somebody get actually really angry telling me that I was spamming her newsfeed. I didn't know what she was talking about, and she was saying she was going to block me, and I had no idea what was even going on, and then I found out about this setting. So it's best to have the activity that shows up on other people's news feeds about you to be something that you wanted there and that you control. And we'll talk about that later. So for now, we'll leave this on only you. Now select what others can see when they viewed your profile. You want to leave the main setting. You want to be, as visible as possible. You don't want to be hiding things. You're using LinkedIn to generate leads. So the setting that LinkedIn has already is perfect for that. Now turn on and off how you rank. This isn't a huge setting here that's gonna make or break your networking activity. This is really more for your own preference. That just basically means that your connections can see how you rank among all the connections that they have. So you can either turn this on and off here. LinkedIn has this automatically checked. I really don't mind, so I leave it as is. Maybe initially, as you might not have a lot of connections, you might not have very high rankings, you want to uncheck this, but then as you start to get more momentum, you want to come back here and check it again. So we'll leave that as is. Now select who can see your connections. Typically, LinkedIn will allow your connections to see who you're connected to. I put only me. Later in the course, I will teach you a strategy of how to mine other people's connections. But if somebody is doing it to you and you don't want them to, you can always just set it to only you. I had an ex-employee actually try to take my connections to use for try to take business from me and stuff like that. So I basically just put it on only you because I figured out what was going on. Now choose who can follow your updates. We're going to be doing a lot of updates later on, so we want to be as conspicuous as possible about this. And this is mostly like, for example, whenever you create a post on LinkedIn Pulse and people can follow you, you want everybody to be able to see this activity. So we're just going to put everybody right here. Now change your profile photo and visibility. That we can actually also do from this area here, so we're not going to worry about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just change your profile photo and how people view you. The next setting, show hide viewers of this profile also viewed. I'm going to leave this up to you. There's two ways you can look at this. Number one, if people view your profile and then they look at other high profile people, then that can make you look good depending on who comes up. If people view your profile and then look at a bunch of competitors and people are on your profile and then right next to them they see a bunch of competitors listed there, you might want to turn the setting off so it only displays what you want. So either the setting this feature will be listed on your profile or it won't. Right now I just have it as no because I don't want people looking at my competitors, and so I'll leave that one up to you, but that's basically what this section does right here. Now manage who you're blocking. If somebody gets on your last nerve and you need to block them, you can do that and you can come here and manage that and block them or unblock them. I'm not going to click on it because I am blocking some people and I don't want to show you that, but this is where you would go and manage that. Now discover who can manage you by phone number. I would just say all LinkedIn members. If somebody's looking you up by phone number, you want them to find you. We're not trying to be hidden here because, again, we're using this to generate leads. So that's the LinkedIn's default setting right there. Now, if you want to add your Twitter, you can go here and do that. Or if you have a WeChat setting, you can do that there. And then people can also, when they find you on LinkedIn, also be able to connect with you on Twitter if that's somewhere that they're more active. So that's where you would do that. This area here is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to go into it in great detail. But there is one area here that I want you to see. Now, because I have a premium account, I'm also can be listed in open profile. And what that means is anyone who has a LinkedIn premium profile can message me for free. So people can see that I'm premium, they can see that they can message me, and because I have the setting here, they can actually be able to connect with me without using one of their in-mails. Later on, when we talk about the difference between basic profiles and premium profiles, you'll understand more what that means, but basically this allows more people to be able to message you, and I will go into more detail a little bit later. But if you have a LinkedIn profile, my recommendation is you leave this marked. It's a default setting by LinkedIn, and you want this here. In the other video, we'll talk more about premium and basic and the difference between the open profile setting. Now, we're going to have another section that deals with recommendations, so I'm going to leave that part of the training for that time. Also, if you want to edit your profile, you can do it from here, or you can also do it from here, which is much easier because you can access this from any place that you are on LinkedIn. And the last setting that I'll talk about quickly is editing your public profile. Now, you have the ability to select what people see about your profile and what they don't see. You can hide some of the stuff, or you can just let it all show. I want to let it all show because as we go into this week's trainings, you're going to be learning how to optimize all these different areas of your profile. So we're going to spend all this time putting this information in there. We want as many people as possible to see it. And one last thing I want you to take note of, here's where you can customize your LinkedIn profile public URL. If you can, try to get your name in here. If you cannot, perhaps your company name or your name and a couple of numbers, something like that, so that way you have your own easy to use a public profile link, and it's not a bunch of letters and numbers like what LinkedIn's going to give you from the default. And this is where you would go manage that. And now that we've covered the first area of your LinkedIn profile settings and how to not annoy your connections, now we're going to go into the next 3 sections and the settings that you want to have there so that you don't also annoy yourself as you begin to have a lot of activity coming in from your LinkedIn account, as we're going to get into this week and also in the following weeks. So I'll see you on the next video.